Yo, what's up? This is the Squeegee Life. I'm here with Marky Tanner and our guest this evening, Kevin, the lead unicorn, Hargis. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Good. How about you guys?
Doing
Kicking
good.
ass like always, dude.
Um,
What's up, babe? Not you, Jennifer. It's just sort of,
Me.
I don't want nobody to get a
oh,
hard on.
thank God, thank God you weren't calling me babe there for a second. I was getting a
Hey,
little worried.
that's right, Jason, the last style better man. I told you he was gonna lay homeboy out, didn't I? I knew it. And I think he's gonna Paul Harris, whatever his name is, he's gonna get his ass whooped too, dude. So what's up, guys? We're talking MMA. You guys are probably like, "What are these guys talking about, bro?"
I see your Browns won today. Dolphins lost again
What are
today.
you talking
Gotta
about? The
love
Browns
that.
didn't even play today, bro.
Yeah, they did. I looked it up.
No, they didn't. They played last week, bro.
Oh, they got a bye.
A
I
bye.
haven't even looked. I'm sure the Steelers lost.
No, they
again.
play tomorrow night, Monday night, son. That's why the podcast is today. If no one has gotten it yet, the podcast is now scheduled around Cleveland Browns games. So if you want to know the schedule of the podcast, just look up the Browns schedule. If it's in the afternoon, we'll probably have it. What's up, Dad? My wonderful father's watching. Yeah. So if it's late Sunday night, we're not gonna have a podcast. We're doing that shit on Monday. You know, if it's a Sunday night game, I won't be here, dude. I'm a Browns fan for life. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I feel like Paul Acosta is fucking done too, Jason. I think you're right. That was an awesome fight, man. That was a pretty good fight. So, yeah. We're kicking ass, taking names. The Browns. We got Callaway back, and Higgins is off concussion protocol. We're getting primed and ready to bust the fucking Patriots in the mouth. I can't wait for that game. I'm a shit on Mrs. Tanner and Seth Byers. Both yins getting shit on.
I
We
gotta
beat 'em,
say, I
watch.
think you're
We
gonna
gonna
get
beat 'em,
fucking
watch.
wiped up.
Tom
Yeah.
Brady's gonna get injured, dude. Watch, bro.
Hey,
Watch.
I have
Miles
no
Garrett's
issue with
gonna
that.
kill him, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Somebody gonna kill him. Watch, man. You ain't got nothing for that D line, son. Nothing.
What round? What round of the playoffs you think you're going to get to?
Wild card. I think
Hey,
we'll go in a
anything's a
wild
step
card
in the
round.
right direction
Yeah, I think
at
wild
this
card round.
point.
Hey, man. Anything's better than 0-16. So
Right?
you can't get much worse than that, dude.
It's only up from here.
Taylor Hargis says Kevin Hargis is the best window cleaner. I agree.
Well, she
I
might be a
agree.
little biased. That's my daughter.
I agree with her. I agree. You're the best, Kevin. We just decided before the show that Kevin is the best, right, Mark?
He is the best. Numero uno.
Seth Byers 5-0. Yeah, I know, man. Tom Brady is auto fucking matic. He's the best quarterback to ever play the game of football. Tom Brady. There's no better quarterback than Tom Brady. Unfortunately for me as a Browns fan, because we ain't had a quarterback worth of shit. He's just better than everybody, man. He's just better.
Look.
There's no better winning quarterback ever. Never. Maybe guy to play the position. Maybe Peyton Manning might be like, even with him on playing the position. But
The problem
Tom-
is, over the years, the Browns management destroyed every quarterback he
oh
got.
yeah, well Tim Couch, he could have been all right if we would have had an offensive line. He would have done okay, but they just threw him to the wolves, man. They threw him to the wolves, dude. I feel like that's kind of what the deal is with Baker Mayfield this year. Like, the line is not as good as it was last year. They're doing okay. They're getting better, but man, I think now he's gun shy. Now he's running for his life no matter what. He probably needs to stop doing that. What's up, guys? Hope all is well. Been a minute since I tuned in. What's up, Jacob? How you doing, buddy? I hope everything is going well for you. Mark says he's glad that you're not farting anymore. Dad, I'll give you Joe Montana. My dad, hey, Dad, Kevin is a fucking Notre Dame fan, too. You see that stupid-ass poster behind him there? My dad, of course, says the best quarterback is Joe Montana. I wonder why. Fucking old touchdown Jesus over here. Get the fuck out of here, man. Peyton sucks. Whatever, bro. Peyton Manning does not suck. Peyton Manning does anything but suck, dude. That dude was a G, man. Get out of here,
Yeah,
man.
he is.
Game recognizes game.
Well, and he was good all the way around. I saw him speak at an event.
Mm-hmm.
It was a business event that we were part of, probably about 10 years ago. And he came in and spoke. And he is one of the most well-spoken, intelligent
Dude, he's hilarious.
guys, and very, very down to earth. He talked to so many people after. I mean, there was probably 1,500 people there, so you couldn't get everybody
He's
into
funny
it.
as shit too. I love all his commercials, man.
Oh yeah, those are great.
But as far as like the fucking baddest dude to ever play the position, like I know there's goats out there, like Tom Brady's the goat and everything, but the best quarterback ever is Brett Favre. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Hate me if you want to. Nobody's. Brett Favre was a bad motherfucker, bro. He was bad as shit, dude. I like the way he threw the ball down the field. He came out and dropped like 400 yards, like 4 touchdowns on the night his dad died. That dude's in my book. He's aces forever, dude. That dude he was a gunslinger and he was just out there having fun. No jock strap, just a chin strap. He just wore that like punter's helmet and went out there and got it down. You know what I mean? You gotta love that shit, dude.
He did. He was tough.
I love it, man. Yep. What's up, Mike the Glass Guy? Yeah. Well, Brett Favre. So, Kevin, how long you been cleaning windows, man? I mean, that's what you do primarily, or no?
That's what I like to do primarily because it's the biggest profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
So I say 33 years, and
Okay.
that's from when I got my work permit when I was 14 and officially became an employee of my parents' business.
Okay.
But I think I put a horsehair brush on the window for my dad when I was 5.
Wow.
Okay.
So, I mean, I go way, 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 way back.
Okay.
So that would put me in the mid 70s. Obviously, I wasn't doing it, professionally or anything like that. But, that was the days of a 5-gallon bucket, 2 wooden poles that my dad put on a grinder and tapered the tips down.
Mm-hmm.
And, old mop handles, basically. Once those were retired, he'd turn them into window poles. Bo Peep ammonia and a good old Ed brass channel. And that's how I learned to do windows. And, once I got out on my own, I started my first business in 89. Pretty much failed miserably, but, learned a lot. So
It's in
yeah,
your
I
blood
say
by
a little
now.
bit.
Yeah. It's in your blood by now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, I get a little out of practice at times on some of the high pole work, but it comes back pretty quick.
Yeah. It's like riding a bike.
Those memories that you just spoke of, though, that to me, I call that the innocence of window cleaning. Like
Absolutely.
just going out early, busting it out. I mean, I'm talking about route work.
Yep.
I used to leave the house at 4 o'clock to meet my dad by 4:30, and be done at 12, 1 o'clock every day, and do 40, 50 storefronts in the morning. No parking issues, no sun, no customers. Put tickets in the doors and
Walk uphill both ways.
Yeah. Yep. No shoes in the snow. You know what? That's what when I refer back to my early days of window cleaning, that's what I love. The innocence of it. It's no longer this animal that you got to keep corralled to keep going. It was fun. It was go collect a paycheck and go home.
Right.
And I miss a lot of that.
Oh, absolutely. It's, sometimes it's, you almost have to take your thoughts and kind of do that and go back to it and go, what am I doing? I'm not curing cancer. I'm not something that is high and mighty here. I'm just putting a mop on a glass and I'm cleaning it. And my customers are happy. And I, like you were saying, I go back to those days when we were doing routes. We live in a small town, so there was probably our downtown was maybe had 20, 25 small little businesses in it. My dad did half of them.
Yeah.
And the other half was one other guy that did it just $1 cheaper than he did. It was just you interacted with people. Or the last cleaning of the month. I'd sit and write all my statements out.
Yeah.
And go in and collect, and everybody knew you, everybody knew who you were, and for my dad, for years I was Cal's son. I think that's when you kind of what I realized I turned the corner in business is when I no longer became Cal's son. I was Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Fernando, that Kansas City Chiefs show is only gonna last long enough until they run into a good offense, and then the Chiefs are fucked because they ain't got no kind of defense, bro. Moving on. What's up? What's up, Chris Johnson? How you doing, dude? Huh. So what do you do? I mean, what do you primarily do now? I mean, I know you do. Where were you? You were going to do something when you stopped and we had lunch together.
I was going out to Pennsylvania to do a floor certification class.
That's what it was. As soon as you said Pennsylvania, that it came to mind.
Yeah, so I'm a master textile cleaner. I have 12 certifications in carpet and floor care. Mm-hmm. I can do water restoration. I can do some small fire restoration kind of stuff. But a lot of that is so specialized if you're not doing it every day that you just kind of forget the little things that you need to do. And there's a lot of legalities involved in it. So I partner with people and I let them handle the big stuff, and they have the big equipment for that.
Right. So yeah, I had one of those assholes in my house. Fucking.
So right now I'm doing getting ready to do a big power washing job. I just spent about $5,000 on some power washing equipment. Big window customer I have, they have a 5-story parking garage. I did some entryways for them, and I just asked the question. I'm like, hey, are you interested in doing the whole parking garage? And they're like, yeah, we've been thinking about doing that. I'm like, well, here's what it would cost if I did it. And they're like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I had to go buy all the stuff and getting ready to do that. But then, like I said, I do some carpet work, floor work, that kind of stuff too, which helps me keep busy in the winter.
So what primarily is, you sound like you're doing multiple services. What percentage is window cleaning, not profit wise or revenue? What percentage is window cleaning customers?
I think everybody that I'm doing business with now is a window customer. It just varies on how much they spend. So like the hospital that I'm doing the power washing, it's a $50,000 a year power washing contract, and I do probably 15,000 in windows with them.
Yeah.
So now the other revenue is going to kind of surpass the window cleaning. So like I said, just about everybody I do windows for, and in some ways one job will turn into a window job, or window jobs will turn into something else.
Okay.
I just ask questions. Since I can do a lot of stuff, I have the equipment to do things, I just ask them questions.
Sure.
What are whose pet peeves when it comes to window cleaning? Taylor asks what your pet peeves are when you're cleaning windows. Do you have a pet peeve, or is this an inside joke?
Well, she's been working with me on and off, and she's going to be working with me full time coming up here because we have so much work to do. But I think it's the normal stuff. You missed a spot, and hey, can you come to my house? And,
yeah.
And she loves handing out business cards. People say, you can come to my house. She's like, here's a business card. Yeah, we travel. Here you go.
Yeah.
I think my pet peeve with cleaning windows is the frames being wiped down right. You know what I mean? I feel like you got to wipe the frames down.
Or are you just leaving it half-ass if you know?
Yeah, no, I feel like if you don't take the time to at least, like if there's webs up, like I know a lot of guys will clean. They won't, they'll like, well, that's not part of the window, like the outer frame. I like to wipe that shit down. I just feel like you got to do that. You know what I mean? If you're not wiping like the dirty water off of shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Well,
I used to, when I had a lot of people working for me, I would get that a lot. Well, that's not my job, or that's, we're here to do windows. We're not here to do this. And I would always just tell them, say, well, if we don't do it, who's gonna?
Yeah.
Right.
Eventually, they're going to see something, and they're going to call somebody else to do it. And then guess what? We're going to lose lose the stuff that we have.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
just-
saying
even
clean
if-
the fucking siding or nothing, but if you wipe the edges down, you know what I mean. You can, I mean, if you're cleaning a window and there's something between the window frame and the J channel, just wipe it off. It's gonna kill you
Yep.
to wipe that off. I'm not saying scrub cannibal spore off the siding. I'm just saying wipe the motherfucker just real quick. It's all
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean? I don't do a
Well, I
lot of
do-
wiping in my videos because I feel like I'm not going to show you guys the wipe step. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of I buy those $10 Unger cobweb dusters. I don't really fuck with them too long. They're about $10. I maybe use them a couple weeks and I throw them in the garbage. Like I probably should recycle them. I'm probably going to start because the plastic. I should probably recycle them, but. Yeah, I like to wipe the webs and shit off the frames. I just have to. I feel like if I'm not going to do it like you said, somebody's going to come along and be like, oh, well, we do this too.
Yeah.
You know
well,
what I
and
mean?
sometimes
So,
it's those little things that set you apart. I just
Yeah.
did a townhouse today, and all the white frames around the window had some mildew on them, and I just a couple extra minutes of brushing, and
Yeah.
that was
it's
gone.
not going to kill you.
And then
yeah.
the whole side of the house looks like it's clean,
Yeah.
just because that black isn't is
Right.
on there. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
door-
of times it's those little things.
Door glass is another thing, like especially McDonald's glass, their doors, a lot of them all around here have a toe kick on them. You know what I mean? At the bottom of the door. And, you know,
Yep.
everyone always boots that. And I feel like I
Yeah.
got to get the marks off of it.
Yeah.
You know, I have to. I've got this
Yeah.
cool product that I get the marks off of, which it makes it so much easier now. I can't talk about it, but it works really well.
Well, and
That's another
one thing
pet
that
peeve of mine.
I always do on route work is any exterior cleaning, I always include the inside of the door glass.
Oh, yeah, if you're not doing that,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a fucking scrub.
Yeah.
If you're not
Oh,
doing
my-
the inside of the
if someone-
door glass,
yeah.
you are a piece of shit.
every building we do, every storefront we
you
do,
have to throw that in.
you know, even if they say we only want the outside, it
We'll
includes
still do it, yes.
the interior of any unlocked doors.
That
I
is
don't go
correct.
through and find keys,
Right.
but if it's unlocked, we clean it. You know.
Yep.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
If you're not doing the inside, even if it's an Audi, you got to do the inside of the door.
Yeah.
The
Well,
traffic
that's where
door
all the
has to.
fingerprints
Yeah,
are.
you got to do that. If you're not doing that, you're slipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things when I was a kid I learned real quick because I couldn't put my fingers on door glass. My dad would
Oh.
smack my hand. You know, even if it was covered in fingerprints, it didn't matter. He's like, somebody's got to clean that. So to this day, when I walk out of a door, if there's no crossbar, I put my hand like that and I push on the frame of the door. Never have touched door glass.
Can't talk about it. Is it proprietary? No, it's not. It's not proprietary. I'm just testing it. So eventually eventually everyone will get to see it. And, you know, it's gonna be super underwhelming, but everyone's gonna have one and it's cool. You know,
And it works.
Don't you
It
agree,
works
Mark?
really.
It's going to be
Yeah.
extremely underwhelming. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah. No, but when
Until you get one.
When you mentioned that, I was quickly reminded. I have a restaurant I've been cleaning for 17 years, and it has an outdoor patio. So the girls or the waiters walk up with the tray of food, and they use their sneakers or whatever they have on to push the door open. But it doesn't have one of those toe guards on it, so it's on the glass, and I use it for that because you got to scrub. And they're walking across a greasy kitchen floor.
Yeah.
And the bottom of that, you got to
get
scrape
after
it off.
Yeah, but don't give it away. But you know,
No, I'm not.
super
I'm gonna give it
dope.
away.
Everyone's gonna like it. Sean Webb, job security when people touch the door glass. Oh, I completely agree with that, Sean. Hey, Craig, I'm glad you are back. That's not fucking Craig, dude. This is Kevin Hargis, not to be named Craig. He's not. His name is not Craig.
Thanks for coming on, Bill.
Yeah. Hey, Jim. Nice to have you on the show.
Call me whatever you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go.
I've answered to a lot worse, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
A lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always here. Craig's always here. I'm talking, yeah. Oh, maybe he's talking about that, Craig. My bad, dude. Alberto's
Donna
like,
says I look like a radio host for a rock station. That's what I do when I'm not cleaning windows.
it's called really short radio is what it's called.
Yeah.
Fucking guys like he's like Gimli from fucking Lord of the Rings.
What are we at? Let's see. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. We are.
I know, Alberto. I caught it, bro. I'm sorry.
I had to bring it up.
Kevin, do you have sleeves on? Are you feeling okay?
I just have a sweatshirt on.
Anthony
dude.
would like to know. Anthony would like to know why you have not.
I just have.
Are you like my?
on.
Are you like my dad? My dad doesn't have any sleeves on his shirts either.
I never do. I
If
mean, when
it's-
it starts getting like super cold out, I will.
Yeah.
But
Like my
Yeah.
dad's version of dressing up is a t-shirt with sleeves. He's like, yo,
Absolutely.
I got sleeves on today. We going to church.
We are looking good.
yep, that and solid colored shorts. Then I'm dressing up.
Okay.
Yeah, and, Anthony came over and cleaned some windows with me last week, and the day before he was like, "Hey, what color are your shirts? I'll wear something at least that color, you know." So I showed him, you know, basically the ash gray or whatever, you know. So then he showed up and he had a sleeveless shirt on, and I'm like, "Well, there you go, perfect. You got the uniform down."
Blend right in.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't rock the no sleeves. I got a lot of tattoos, so I like to be somewhat covered, just a little, because it's a little discerning to old people, and I deal with a lot of old people, so this is
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? So I gotta kind of tone it down a little bit. Boy, you got a whole lot of tattoos on you, don't you? Yep. That's what they say too.
Good thing he's only cleaning the outside. Lock the door.
Right. I told you that one lady, I cleaned her house for fucking years, man, but it was always in the early spring, so it was chilly out. And I always had a hoodie on when I went to her house. Well, she called me in the summer one year because the bug guy really messed her windows up. So I came and I walked up to the door, knocked on her door, tattoos blazing, you know what I mean? Bald-headed tattoos blazing. I ring the doorbell. She only opened the door this far with the chain on the door. And she's like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm here to clean the windows, Mrs. Carpenter." And she's like, she goes, I don't want them done. So I go and I get in the truck and she calls me and she's like, "Terry, I thought you were going to clean my windows. This big guy came here with tattoos." I'm like, "That's me, Mrs. Carpenter. I'm in the truck in your driveway." And she looked out the window and I'm waving to her and she apologized. She's like, "I had no idea you had that stuff all over you." So,
Look like a bad coloring book.
Yeah. I don't think Mark's got any tattoos.
No.
Yeah, he's a big vajay.
Yeah, no.
What I don't understand is how you have the wherewithal to jump out of a perfectly good running fucking airplane, but don't have a tattoo.
Yeah, no, look, honestly, when my father passed away, I was going to get something, for him.
Yeah.
And I still haven't come across what I want, but I will eventually.
Right.
And it will be on a significant day, either his birthday or the day that he passed.
Oh, okay.
My wife's got a couple tattoos, and she's like, "Dad," the kids walk around, "Dad's a wuss, he won't get it." I'm like, "Come on, man." I cut my freaking arm off in the shop the other day. I didn't even, just went on to what I was doing. I can handle it,
I just stuck it back on.
But it's just permanent. So I gotta, I told you the story a few years back. I picked up a big college contract and hired a couple new guys. And one guy, he had, how long is your hair, Kevin? I think you got long hair. Yeah, no, it was longer than that. It was Doobie Brothers long, And he had sleeves, he had tattoos on his sleeves. And he was a good window cleaner. And I go, "Hey, listen, I'm not against any of it." I go, "But the jobs that we do, you got to tuck that hair in your shirt or under a hat, and you got to put on some sleeves." I said, "Because not here at the college, but
yeah, Kevin, you and your fucking hippie hair, bro."
Dude, I put him in a Class A building doing the interiors. Within 10 minutes, the phone rang.
At least it's not a mullet, Kevin.
Yeah.
No, but if I ever decide to cut my hair, I'm gonna cut it into a mullet, and then I'll take a bunch of pictures of it. And then,
yeah, dude. If you don't, you ain't shit, dude.
Yeah. Then I'll finish cutting it off. But
Right.
yeah, it'll be a full blown
mullet. Yeah, Kentucky waterfall.
Joe Dirt. Yeah,
Oh
Joe Dirt.
yeah. I'm gonna do some like achy breaky heart.
Billy Ray
shit.
Cyrus.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, like a 1992 Billy Ray Cyrus.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but people judge that, you know? I mean, and that building called me and said, look, you know, it's just not going to work in our building. And what do you say to that? You know what? Okay, I'll pull them out, you know? Because they got nothing but attorneys. You got nothing but attorneys. They're already looking for something to complain about, you know? And he ended up not working out anyway. He made it about 6 months.
I said,
that was the end.
who is the guest? Looks like a young Joe Knows. That's so fucked up, dude.
Oh,
except for Kevin's teeth all touch. Fucking Joe Knows look like that motherfucker been smoking firecrackers. Joe Knows mouth looks like a Civil War graveyard. You know.
Look, I don't even own a fucking fedora, all right? So, I don't even own one.
Eat corn on the cob through a
Kevin,
picket fence.
it looks like you got an excellent studio there. I like the snow shovel in the background.
There's a Joe Hardy moment for everybody there, a little throwback. Small company I used to work for had all the PNC bank accounts. The guy with the tattoos wasn't permitted to go behind the counter, which was actually put more work on us. Oh, that's pretty terrible. I'm 100% willing to start a petition for him to get a mohawk. Your daughter wants you to get a mohawk, dude.
Yeah. We'll put that on the table at some point.
Well, what you need to do is, if you do it right, what you need to do right now is lay down on the floor in the house, get a beach towel and on your side, and then just have your daughter and your wife get your hair lined out and then just spray it and lay there until it dries real good with hairspray. Then flip over and do it on the other side and spray it again. And then you'll have this really wicked tall mohawk.
I should try that.
Super wicked, dude.
I should try that, and I'll put that on Into the Flow. I'll paint it rainbow colors. How's that?
That works good too. Summer teeth, summer in, summer out, my dad said. Oh, I hope Joe don't get mad. I'm just poking fun. That shit was funny as fuck, I thought.
We had a lot of laughs with old Joe.
Oh yeah, Joe was fucking funny. He's super serial now. He's big time now, dude. He teaches classes on how to be something or other. How to have a house with wheels on it with Joe Henry Hardy.
Oh man!
You might be a Joe Henry Hardy if your house has a steering wheel.
Yes.
You may be a Joe Henry Hardy if you have a Chevy Insignia drilled with deck screws onto the side of your motorcycle. You might be a Joe
the side
Henry
of your
Hardy.
Honda Davidson.
Honda Davidson. Oh, that was so much fun when we picked on him about that. He's got a Honda Davidson or a Yamaha or something, and he's got like a big ass Chevy emblem on the side of it, like either liquid nailed or deck screwed to the side of the It's so goddamn funny, man.
It looked like it came that way.
Right. Yeah, actually, dude, I know how to do a mohawk, dude. I know how to do the right kind of mohawk, bro. I'm telling you, if you lay on your side and lay with your head like this on the floor with like a beach towel, get it all to stand out like you want it to look, and then just hit it with Aquanet like super hard on one side, and then you'll have to have one of them or two of them. Hope you stand up, flip it over, lay on the other side, then fucking fold it all over and.
Well, I can pretty much
hairspray that.
What's going to happen at our house on Thanksgiving now?
Sweet, dude.
Because my daughter's not going to stop until we do it and take pictures.
Yards for learning. He's willing to bring his office to your front yard for learning. Oh,
come on in, kids.
It's all good.
How much was that? It was like $5,000 a week or something like that. Remember that? What was it?
It was like $3,600 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
$3,600.
I don't think he does that anymore. He's doing something with that. That one guy, the pressure washing motivation guy. Shit.
Jamie Schmidt?
Yeah, Jamie. He's doing something with Jamie. I don't see Jamie anymore. I used to see him. He used to talk, watch the podcast. He's in tight with Perry, so the both of them are. So we can't be friends, but it's all good. I don't care.
Yeah, everybody's got to learn the hard way, I guess.
Well, everyone's got to learn the hard way. So, does anyone have any... man, dude, we're only 30 minutes in. I feel like the show's over. Shit. I was all about to call her quits.
Yeah, we got to get some people asking questions over here.
Yeah. He's really doing traveling coaching. Oh, okay. That's cool, man. Good for Joe, man. I mean, I hope whoever he's teaching is got a bigger fucking barn to live in than he does.
Yep.
He just announced it. Oh, that's cool, man. Good for him, man. I feel like that's good for Joseph. Good for Joseph. You know, I hope people learn good from him, and I hope he makes good money from doing it and all that stuff. You know, I feel like that's good, you know. Kevin, I really enjoyed your class at the Huge, man. It was awesome to meet you guys.
Yeah, I got a chance to hang out with Mike and had a beer and got to talk to. That was, you know, I think you guys were talking about it one of the other podcasts about, you know, conventions and stuff like that, and that's really the thing I enjoy about that the most is getting together with people, obviously meeting people now, because there's so many people that you talk to online, and then you finally get to shake their hand, and you know, and then you get to network with so many different people, and you never know, like this whole power washing thing, you know, this is way bigger. This is 250,000 square feet of power washing, so this is way bigger than anything I've ever done. And there was a guy that was at my class at the Huge convention, and he does power wash. He's down in Florida too. I can't remember exactly where he's at. And so we got to talking about stuff, and I said, hey, you know, I've got this possible opportunity coming up. Can I, you know, bend your ear when I get to that point? And he's like, yeah, just give me a call or shoot me a message and we'll do it. Well, I've been talking to him for a couple weeks, and so you know, he's giving me all the information. Hey, you know, do this, do that, and don't do this, don't do that. And I finally just told him, I said, look, if you were me, what should I buy? Just put it out. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
So we came up with all the stuff we could buy, and then the real funny thing is, was it Thursday or Friday? He messaged me. He's like, okay, your turn. I just sold a window job I don't have a pole for.
Yeah.
What do I need? You know, so now I get to return a favor to him. So, you know, that all came from just meeting somebody at the convention one time.
Yeah.
You know,
dude.
so that's where all that stuff is great.
Yeah. I mean, the Huge convention is super positive. Like, Into the Flow Facebook group, it's super positive, bro. I you know, for real. I'm being a little facetious, but
well, you wouldn't do anything if you weren't being a little facetious, would you?
right. Well, I'll be honest. I was really. There was only one person or two. Well, let's say three people that I came across that were twats. Everyone else was really, really nice. I mean, just total strangers. You know, were all, you know, willing to talk with you. So it's really cool in that regard. You're not going to run into too many douchebags there, you know.
Especially and it's always cool to put a face to the name.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Everyone is really nice. I had a really good time there. It was cool to see you again. Of course, we ate chicken nuggets together, so, you know, it was what it was. So, but, you know, it's meeting people was cool, you know.
Yeah, and
you never know.
You
never know what you could learn from one of these people either. You know what I mean? There's always something you can kind of glean, like something off of Mark or something off of you. You never know. You know what I mean? You could always be of service to each other in some way. That's what's cool about the social media and the conventions and all that stuff, is getting to reach out to other people. Because I feel like before I got into window cleaning social media, I was kind of living in my own little world, window cleaning world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even think that there was a lot of people doing what I'm doing. I'm like, man, I got to be like there's probably like three of us retards out here right now. You know what I mean? Well, but they're it's everywhere. Yeah. It's a pretty interesting profession once you start to meet the other personalities within it. Am I right?
Yeah, I think the benefit is with the social media that if you got enough thick skin to take some abuse, because you're gonna, you can get some questions answered. Whereas, you know, and I'm sure Kevin, you can really relate to this, because when I came up, there was nothing like that. So it was trial and error.
Yep.
And expensive. The errors become expensive. You
Right.
know, I didn't go when I've only done a couple parking garages. I don't really do a lot of pressure cleaning anymore. Like you, Kevin, it's existing clients. If I see something, I say something. I don't really go out and bid just pressure washing. I want to package it up with windows and whatever else. But like we did a parking garage, and we got lucky because there were 4 water outlets on the garage. So we ran 3 machines, 2 surface washers, one with a gun rinsing to the drains, and we quickly learned to pull all the drain covers off and the screens below them out so that it would drain, and then go to the floor above that we had already done and hook up at least 3 garden hoses and run them down, just running water through the parking garage on the ground, because that flow, you know, was saving tremendous amount of time of rinsing. You know what I'm saying? And like I bid another one on one of my buildings, and there's 1 water outlet on each floor, and it was like 200,000 square foot. I'm like, you need 600 foot of hose just to get to the pressure washer.
Hey, Mark.
You know,
Mark,
what?
not to cut you off. When's the last time you cleaned the windows at your house?
I pressure washed my house this weekend.
Yeah, but
I haven't-
how many years has it? How long has it been since you cleaned the windows?
Actually, my oldest son Scott knows how to clean windows. I get him to do it, you know, but it's probably been 6 months.
Okay. It's been about a year since mine are cleaned. My dad and Jennifer are bitching about the windows being cleaned.
Oh, I haven't looked at that. But, well, I can tell you my wife knows how to play the window cleaning game. Yeah. When it comes time that the house it needs to be cleaned, she don't say a word. She goes out, she grabs the bucket out of the truck and starts cleaning the windows, right? Knowing it don't matter what I'm watching on TV or working on in the shop. Give me that, you know? Give me that. Because she's like, you could do this in 5 minutes. And I'm like... And you're making a mess, so give me that stuff. You know, she knows how to play it. And
I've got storms on my house. It's not been 4 years, Jen. You're fucking high. Jen's in there fucking smoking pot or something. It's crack, shooting heroin. What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck she's even... It's not been 4 years.
I'm surprised my wife hasn't put a thing on Facebook asking if anybody knows any good window cleaners.
Right.
Yeah.
Because... Man, it's been a while.
The only windows that haven't been done since I've lived here are the ones with storms. They're the only ones, the bedroom windows. This window here, the 3 back, the 4 back here, and the one in my bedroom are the only ones that have not been done, because I'm not taking those fucking storms apart. When those storms come off, they're coming off for good. Yeah, they're coming off for good. Yeah. I want to buy new windows.
I got a storm window house coming up next week.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it. It was a reference, and they're old people, and just she's one of those old ladies that, you know, every time she would call and leave a message, she's like, "This is Mrs. Jack Del Rio." You know, I mean, she's not herself. She's Mrs. her husband, you know.
Yeah, that's the old
school. We really wanted to get you to come clean our windows because your friend cleaned our daughter's windows, and you know, so I'm like, I don't want to. I don't really have time, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so I can show up, and it's only like 13 windows. It's a rent style house, so it shouldn't. But all storms, and I'm like, oh god, this is going to take me all day.
We're fortunate. We're in Florida. I didn't see a storm window until I went to visit TJ. I never even knew what they are. We don't have those here.
Yeah, I'm pulling all my windows out and replacing them. I got to measure them. I might even do that this year. Because I can get windows super cheap, and I can do it myself. I get a metal brake. I can get a coil of aluminum and have all these windows tore out and replaced in like a day.
Yeah.
They're already replacement windows. My grandfather had windows put in and then had them put the fucking storm windows over top of them. Over vinyl-clad windows. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? They just would not listen to me, no matter what I said. Nope, I want them on there. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. I mean, I do.
Hey, Mark, how far are you from Longwood?
Long. Probably 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
My cousins live down there. I'm going to be down there in November for a birthday party. So
hit me up. You know, we'll meet halfway or something. Do some lunch or something. Hang out. We'll go get chicken nuggets. Me and you.
Hey, there we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll even splurge for a 20-piece.
There you go, man. There you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
I always love to meet other window cleaners. You know, I mean, especially if you see them online or you see them posting or, you know, that's what like you said. That's what I like about the conventions and stuff. I'm going to Georgia this year, so meet a bunch of people there.
Marksville. I'm not gonna make that one.
No,
I'm not gonna be there for that one.
I think I'm gonna be working with Phil. Phil wants me to work in the booth with him, so I'll do that. That'd be a cool experience.
Yeah.
Oh, good old Phil.
Yeah.
Taylor, I think I'm going to try to go to the IWCA convention too.
In Georgia? Yeah, this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
I'm going to try that one out. I've actually never been to an IWCA convention, so.
No,
all these years, no.
Well, I went to the first one was in '86, and it wasn't even a convention. It was just like 50 people put in a room, and Unger was there, and a couple others, and it was literally it was more of a trade show than anything, but it was in its infancy. You know, from what I'm told, it was one of the first ones. I went there with my father, and he's like, "Come on, we're gonna go to this trade show for window cleaning." What? And it was pretty cool, you know. But I was like 16, 17.
Man, it's really expensive though, dude.
What's that? The IWCA?
Yeah.
Well, they've come down in pricing for membership, so I'm not sure what they're doing about the trade show or the convention. But they do offer a lot of classes if you're interested in going through the classes and stuff. I mean, if you take advantage of all of it, I can see the value in it, but it is a lot of money. You know, years ago when it came to it was in 2004, it came to Georgia, and I asked my guys, I said, "You want to go to IWCA or Christmas bonus?" You know, and I said, "We'll put you through the safety training class." They're like, "No, we take the Christmas bonus. We don't really want to go to that." I give it as an option, you know.
Right.
I mean, because it would have cost me probably as much as the Christmas bonus is, you know, because of hotel and time off of work and paid, you know. But there's some benefit to it, you know. All these things.
Jason, she does have yours to print up, but that thing's a fucking Rubik's cube. I'm afraid to touch it. I haven't even taken that shit out of the boxes yet.
Yeah.
All that shit. Yeah. I'm afraid to. I'm like, dude. When he was explaining to me how it all goes together, it was in one year and out the other, because I didn't even know I was taking it with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until I got there, he's like, "Yeah, you got to take all this shit with you." I'm like, "Dude, fuck, dude." So I had to load it all in the back of the truck, then had to come here and do the podcast. So I was under the gun. So everything he told me, I forgot all of it.
Yeah.
And it's sitting, I'm just going to have to take the shit out of the boxes and see how it goes together. That's the only thing I can do. You know, at this point, I don't know what else to do, man.
The longer you wait, the harder it's going to get.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that the IWCA is not worth every penny that I don't know if it is or it isn't. I don't know. But
well, I can tell you this just from what I've seen, and I've never been to the huge convention, but I've seen.
Hey, Craig, shut your fucking mouth. Go ahead.
The huge convention definitely draws more people than IWCA over the last few years. When I went in 2004, it was packed. There were like 1,000 people there. And then when I went 2 years ago in Orlando, I think it was 2 years ago, there was like 300 people that I saw. I'm not saying that they weren't in classes or anything, but I only saw like, 200-300 people. But, again, I don't want to say that's all that was there, but that's all I saw.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is it's going to be really tough to have a small industry, like a relatively small compared to other things like window cleaning, have 2 trade shows a year.
Yeah.
Even years ago when BSCAI and ISSA had separate trade shows, so that's the building service contractors and the basically the supplier side of things, they had separate trade shows, and they had to combine the trade shows because it was, now those things are gigantic. I mean, they take up huge rooms at McCormick Center in Chicago and places like that, but it just got to be too expensive, one, for the vendors to be able to do 2 trade shows plus all the other smaller stuff that they would have to do throughout the year. and then it got to be too expensive for the end users to come to be able to do 2 trade shows. Because again, a lot of times they would put them in, and I understand why they do it. They put them in somewhat exotic locations. So, you're going to Orlando or you're going to Las Vegas or places like that. The idea being that you can kind of make a small vacation out of it and be able to write it off.
Yeah.
But still, not everybody can do that, especially in the window cleaning industry. So, we've talked about that in the group a little bit. I think there's going to have to be some changes somewhere to be able to accommodate more than one show. And I don't know, maybe at some point it ends up getting combined or something. But because IWCA had a booth at the huge convention, so it's not like they don't like each other.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is a perfect, like TJ said, about the expense of it, and it
fucking
is
dogs. I'm gonna kill those dogs. I'm gonna fucking Hazel. I'm gonna step on Hazel's fucking neck. I swear to God, dude.
It is expensive, especially when you're not, if you're a small company and you're not there for your company. Mm. But here's a perfect example. Kid Rock sells tickets to his concerts for like $12, and beers are $10. Mm. And people say, "Well, how are you making any money?" He said, "Because I want everybody to hear my music, and I can sell out Madison Square Garden in 5 minutes that way, versus some amphitheater that I got to charge $100 for a ticket, and half the people are like, it's too expensive. So maybe lower the prices and fill the room is what I'm saying."
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, did you ever use a cleaning product called SD2000?
No, it doesn't ring a bell. What is that?
What's up, Rob? Hello, so
all the time.
Uh-huh.
The bad thing was, I don't know why that just popped in my head. I think it was from when TJ was talking about his little special concoction to clean the bottom of the doors. But man, that stuff would work great on frames, but if you got it on glass, it etches the glass. So
boy. Yeah, so
you had to be really careful with it. But yeah, that's some real.
Well, I don't have anything. I don't have anything special. I just use the runoff from the windows, and the tool, the implement that I use on my. It's the tool that I'm using that gets it off.
You guys will all get a chance.
Everybody. Yeah, it's gonna be super dope, man. Everyone will have one. I think everyone will have two. People that I don't know.
I'll tell you what, though, Kevin, I'm not a big chemical guy.
I've seen that.
Like everyone else, have damaged some stuff and damaged myself, and people think that there's a quick fix to anything, whether it's glass or frames. I think I'm going to lean more into figuring out how to restore some frames because I don't do that now. And 90% of my customers, when I do a glass restoration project, they don't look at the frames. Restoration. They don't look at the frame so much. They're happy that the windows are clean. Yeah. But sometimes, I think
use a fucking rag on the window, you fucking scrub. That's why he looked all weird when we were talking about that. Mark had that fucked up look on his face because he don't wipe frames down.
No, I don't.
See, he don't. Listen, see, he don't look at it.
I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking while you were saying that. I'll tell you what I was thinking when I was saying that. Okay, I don't leave them dirty, but I don't wipe every frame of every job. Customers in Florida do not pay enough for me to do that on a maintenance job. They don't. I'll be honest with you. What I get $50 of cleaning for, you probably get 75. So you got a cushion there. It's go here. But I don't leave spider webs, and if I see something dirty, I clean it.
Yes, he does.
No.
Oh man, Mark, that's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Wow,
all right, so here's the real question of the day. What did you guys think about the rainbow pole?
I don't even, to be honest with you, man, I don't know the premise. I didn't see. I mean, when all that was going down, the mastermind behind the rainbow pole fucking had me blocked, so I didn't see none of that shit go down. You know what I mean? It wasn't until like well after they were all sold out that I even knew that they existed. So,
well, I think it was a very generous thing that Sean did. Mm-hmm. As far as the look of the pole, it doesn't do much for me. And it's got some weird colors in there. Give me a red, white, and blue. I like that. But and I think the the theory behind it is great. So so there's that. As far as it being a pole, is it carbon fiber? Is it fiberglass? What is it that it's that color?
I think the base section is hybrid. The rest of it's carbon fiber.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, the thought behind it and raising money for people. That was a great part. It was funny. I put it on my page, and Steve O commented on it, and he's like, "I hate it, to be honest with you. It looks like something like Fisher Price."
Yeah. My first pole.
Yeah, so then I'm like, well, the money went to a good cause, so on and so forth. He's like, oh, kind of like you, TJ. He's like, yeah, I didn't realize that was something. Did some of the money get donated? I'm like, yeah, well, all the money got donated. He's like, oh, well, now I feel like a dick.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's all right. You can be my first call for the next GoFundMe campaign on Into the Flow.
Right.
Yeah.
As far as poles go, it's a pole. I mean,
sell those poles in West Hollywood. Alberto, man, you are so homophobic, dude. I hope a gay dude wrestles you to the ground and forces himself on you. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
Gives you big wet kisses on your neck and licks your earlobe. That's what I hope.
Dips his wick on your leg.
Fuck, man. Them queers is everywhere.
Yeah.
Them queer poles. This dude is like, he can't even contain himself, dude. Like every time something gay gets brought up, he just explodes. His head just pops off. It's like, fuck.
Dude, I gotta give him something though. I used to be that way.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Dude, I'll tell you a story. When I worked for my dad, I picked up. It was like the biggest account. I was so proud of myself to pick up this account, and it was a couple $100 of cleaning. It was called Trader Tom's, and it was a gift store and this and that. So I cleaned the windows. The guy pays me. I said, I'll be back, in 2 weeks to clean it again, and then we'll put you on the regular schedule. And he goes, well, they were complaining because you didn't do the inside over there. And he points over there, and I'm like, I kind of noticed the outside of the store was bigger than the inside. He goes, yeah, that's where our storage room is, And I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll catch it this go round. I go back there, and I noticed that everyone in the store was somewhat feminine as far as dudes go, But I didn't say nothing. I washed the fucking windows, And they send me behind this. It wasn't even a door. It was a curtain. And then I see these butt plugs and all kind of male paraphernalia, I'll say. Right? So I'm like, oh, boy. So I clean the inside. I collect the money. I give it to my dad. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. And I tell him the same story. And he goes, oh, here we go. We're going to lose the account because you're afraid to go back in there because you're fucking homophobic. And I'm like, no. I'm going to take his money, man. No problem. And it just sent a chill up my spine sometimes in that place. And that was more narrow-minded. And I don't really care what anybody does now.
Yeah, I could give two fucking shits, man.
Yeah.
I've had gay dudes fucking hit on me before. It's not like I wanted to go and take them in the bathroom and smash their fucking skulls and kill them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I fucking hate you! You know what I mean? That's so fucking stupid, man. I don't give a fuck, man. As long as you're not trying to, like, forcibly give me a blowjob, we're good, dude. Whatever. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's just not, I just don't care. That's like someone telling me what I can and cannot do to Jennifer. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you do to her is wrong, in the bedroom. That's none of your business what I do in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if some dude wants to
everybody's money spends the same way. So.
I got several customers who are gay. And one of them was like surprised that I didn't make it. Like, the last guy that we had cleaning the windows left because it was against his like values. And I'm like, dude, the only value I put on you is cash money. That's it.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to pay me $250 cash for the outside of your windows? It takes me like an hour to do. I'm gonna eat that shit up all day. Whatever. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
My dad was extremely religious, when I was growing up, and I mean, he always was his whole life, and but he never had a problem with anybody. He did work for anybody. It didn't matter what they were. He didn't have to approve of it. He just do the job, take their check, and never said a fucking word about it. So
that's I mean, to me, that just don't. Whatever. It's not my thing, of course. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Do what they do.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's all. Who cares, man? I just don't give a shit. Yeah, be flattered is a nice thing to think of. I'm equally biased against everyone.
Richie.
Yeah. I don't know. I just noticed that every time that gets brought up, fucking Alberto's head pops off in the fucking chat. Like, it's all good, dude. Don't let it bother you, man. You know.
Yeah,
Don't let it
well, it's
bother
like
you.
a topic of discussion for some strange reason. I don't care. You know what I'm
Lately,
saying?
yeah, lately it's been like, you know, like
Yeah.
everyone. It's like, I don't know why we're even talking about it to begin with. You know, and
Yeah.
some people are like, well, it needs to be talked about. No, it don't. I don't give a shit
No,
about
yeah.
Well,
anything.
you know, some people just love controversy, and
Yeah,
how's the best way to stir up controversy is to
right.
get something that people feel strongly about on two different sides and
Oh, yeah.
start
yeah,
talking
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got way too much stuff to do to get involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's never any definitive discussion. There's no winners. There's no losers. It's just hatred. It's just bullshit. You know.
Yep. And I remember what my dad used to say. Again, being a very religious person, and I would ask questions when I was a kid. You know, like, are we supposed to hate these people, or you know what? And he says, we don't hate anyone. We might dislike what they do, but we don't hate people. And that's coming from an uber religious person, you know. And,
Yeah.
and that just always stuck with me, that you don't hate people.
No, there's no
you know,
need for
especially
it.
if you're a God-fearing, Bible believing person. You should never hate anybody. You should love everyone just like him, like supposedly God does. So, but doesn't mean you have to approve of things that they do, but you shouldn't have to hate them. And that's where we're at now. Everybody's got to hate something.
Can we talk about the soap y'all use? Yeah, don't. I got some EBC Glide, that new stuff. That shit's not good. It's no bueno.
Have you tried the Sorbo Glide? I don't like it.
I try the Dawn dish soap, and it works every time. You know, I don't. There's no need to test or nothing. It just fucking works. Dawn dish soap and ammonia, done. All the guesswork is taken out of it. You don't need to.
You're not a professional if you don't use.
You gotta.
something
Yeah, you
specific.
gotta buy soap from me if you want to be a pro. Yeah, okay,
well,
buddy.
You know what? I think I pointed this out on a couple podcasts ago. Something no one's ever thought of,
What?
and I only thought of it at that time. For the most part, what are dishes made out of, Kevin?
Glass.
Okay, what are windows made out of?
Glass.
Boom, there's the answer right there.
Done. Professional shit, bro.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know. I was thinking about experimenting with a little KY jelly in my stuff and see if that made it slip a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I get everyone trying to crack the soap code and everything. Like, that EBC for pressure washing for grease and shit is unfucking believable. It's
I love
awesome.
that stuff.
Dude, it's awesome. I use it as often as I can use it. I use it. It's really good shit. But the window cleaning soap, the EBC, all of them, I don't, they're just all garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry. People are going to
I
send
tried
me
the
hate mail.
Mormon stuff because I got the 2.0, the accelerator, which I actually kind of like. And I tried the soap, but you know they want you to put the soap on the
I'm
flip
good.
thing, and that's like, I'm not doing that. That's a pain in the ass to stop and put soap on your thing every day.
Here you have to buy like a bottle of soap a month or every fucking week for to use our tool so it'll work properly. That's it. You're adding soap to that pad so it'll fucking work right. Period.
Yeah, and I'm not. And the bottle doesn't even work right. You're trying to get it under. It's just the whole half the bottle comes out in the first squeeze.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna. Like you said, just go with the good old Dawn.
TSP is good for cigar bars.
You can't
I started out with.
I started
Lemon
with that
Joy.
too, but you can't get real TSP anymore.
Yeah, trisodium phosphate. It's not even trisodium phosphate. It's
and you better be a good window cleaner if you're using TSP
Yeah,
because
you better be the best
anything
ever.
you leave is bright white.
Yep.
Yeah. And it don't just wipe off when you're done.
No, you're Fucksville. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little ammonia, some dish soap. It is what it is. I don't need no fucking. I just feel like with all of the liquid soap deals out there for window cleaning, the part that they're all missing is the fact that I feel like, and I was telling Mark this before, I feel like what separates window cleaning soap from dish soap is the viscosity, and I think
Yep.
that's what makes all the difference in windows in soap. That's why
Yeah.
dish soap is better, is the viscosity.
Yeah.
All of these water additives are just, they're the same consistency as water. They're not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does
just,
nothing. It's
it
like,
does
is
nothing.
it in there?
Yeah, is it? Yeah, yeah. I need some whoop de whoop on the glass, man. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Nope. Nope. No, I get it, because all
What's
you
up,
really
Henry?
need is just something to
Henry Drees
that'll
is
cut
here.
through
Sorry
some
about your
grease.
Jeep, bro.
Yeah, what's up, Henry? What's up, Crash Dummy? He got hit from behind and then hit someone else.
somebody, yeah.
So that can't be his fault. Hopefully
Oh,
you
you
get
got
it
to
straight.
tell Anthony's story. What the hell? That's
Worst best story, worst experience are the same. Had an Indian doctor try and offer me money to seduce and sleep with his wife. I was 19. They were easily in their mid 60s. Super awkward, to say the least. Jen said liar.
Yeah, so
She just
did
messing
you
around.
do it? That's what I want to know.
I use TSP every day. A little bit to a bucket of water. I don't even get why people use TSP. I can't even wrap my head around why you need that.
Well, the stuff we got now is that white powder. It doesn't really even dissolve. You dump the bucket out, it's laying in the bottom of the bucket.
Yeah. I don't even understand why people use it.
the
Isn't
only
that
thing
like?
I've ever used TSP for is for washing walls.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've ever
I-
used it for ever as well.
I've never used it on glass. I've never had a need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had any crazy experiences. I don't think really doing windows.
Yeah, I don't. The craziest, worst, the best and worst. I don't know. Best experience
I've
was
been in
making a lot
houses
of money. Worst experience is I clean windows at a old folks community, and there was a 95-year-old woman that used to like to run around in just her underwear when I was cleaning the windows. That was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. No, it was not cool, dude. That was awful. That was awful. That was terrible. She was clearly, she was, what do you want to say, had dementia or something. She was just, she was on another level, bro.
You don't like cucumbers?
Nah,
Is that what you're saying?
bro, I don't like cucumbers.
I think the only stuff I've ever had is moving some furniture in a bedroom found a couple rubber tallywhackers laying around. That's about it.
Listen, you know how hard it is to keep up with your guys' fucking now your daughter's complaining, then I'm not answering everything that she's saying. I'm not reiterating. Maybe we should have had Taylor on instead of you.
Bring her in there.
Yeah, Jennifer says females don't count, even though I'm fucking answering everything she fucking says because I know better.
That's all right. She's used to me ignoring her. She'll be fine.
Yeah, Jennifer doesn't like it to be ignored, so I'm trying to, like everything she says, I'm trying to be like, yes.
I think the strangest thing I've ever seen, and I've told this story, so I'll Reader's Digest version of it. But I got called into one of the office buildings that we clean, and the top 3 floors are privately owned penthouses, tenants, and the rest is office space below it from 18 on down. And there's an area where the guys can fill their buckets, and there's a sink basin in there. The mop, the guys that do janitorial keep all their equipment in there, and there's a hose bib. So the guys dump their buckets out of the ground, bring it back up, and refill up there. And we were buying Joy in a 5-gallon bucket with a pump, and they'd come by the shop and fill their Gatorade bottles or whatever water bottles with soap. Well, they had 2 or 3 Gatorade bottles full of Joy soap sitting on the sink basin. And they called me and said, you need to get up here. And I'm like, is everybody okay? Yeah. I go in there, and there's a meeting between the janitorial service, the building management, and one of the tenants from the penthouse. And they just assumed that it was my guys were urinating in Gatorade bottles and leaving them there in the sink basin. And then the janitorial service refused to put their hands and touch the bottles. So building had to get the engineering staff to go throw it away. And I walk in, and they're talking about this. And potentially I was going to be fired, okay, on a job I've had for 15 years. That goes 4 times a year. That's 20 stories, right? And I'm looking at these people like I'm waiting for Ashton Kutcher to jump out telling me I'm punked here. I go, dude, that's dish soap. That's Joy dish soap. I go, you're going to tell me that you had 3 bottles all filled with the same exact color liquid, okay? You could pick it up and clearly see that it's not the viscosity of urine. Now I got to go get the guys more soap so they can continue the work. that's like the weirdest thing that's ever happened. There was a big meeting over soap that was.
I already heard that story. He's told that story twice before on the podcast.
Yeah, 17 times. But
it's a good
when
it's a good
like
story.
That happens, you say, God, I thought I've seen it all.
Yeah,
you know
it's a good story. I'm not knocking that you tell it, but I'm just saying this is the third time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What I'm trying to get to you guys is listen. There's only so much shit that me and Mark can talk about before you hear the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean?
Start to revisit it.
Well, here's a good story for you. Then you haven't heard this one, so. I ran a big janitorial. I was VP of ops for a big janitorial company. So we had floor crews, window crews, carpet crews. So we send the floor crew out to it's called AEP. So it's an electric company in this area. Mm-hmm. So we send them out to do floors. We have a finish system that you use to put floor finish down. Mm-hmm. Well, it's all aluminum and there's some small parts in there. So we came up with this bright idea to get a gun case, and we would put it in that gun case, and then nothing would get bent, nothing would get broken, because it's padded, it was long enough, and it was fine. So they go do the job, they're going to load up, they forget the finish system, and they leave it sit outside the front door of this electric company service center. So the first person that came into work the next morning sees a gun case sitting by the front door and doesn't know what it is, so they call the police department. The police department comes, they don't know what it is. When the police department doesn't know what it is, who do they call? The bomb squad. Mm-hmm. Oh, so we had the police department and the bomb squad disarming our finish system. Of course, they open it up and it's just aluminum pole and flat mop in there. But that was an interesting call to get to have to talk to our contact.
We had a guy get fucking almost arrested for using somebody's water on their house. Like the really? House, the house, the water didn't work on the house next door, and we had no idea. We just set up. I was inside this person's house, cleaning the insides, and the other guy I was with was also cleaning the insides. And one dude was on the outside with a water-fed pole doing the outsides. And instead of hooking up to the customer's house we were working on, he hooked up to the customer's house next door. And these motherfuckers called the law on us, dog. Yeah, they were threatening to sue us and everything. Dude, it was so funny, man. I was like, I'll gladly pay for the water. Here's $1. You know what I mean? How much was that, dude? Fucking Jesus Christ, dude.
I was cleaning this restaurant. It was a construction cleaning called Grand Lux. I don't know if you have them out there, but they're owned by the Cheesecake Factory. And they had the floor was done and then covered with like wood beams and plywood, It was raised because you had to step up on it. I couldn't figure out like that, but anyway, I'm in there. I go to wash the inside with my ladders, and I see the scissor lift sitting there. I'm like, man, that would be nice to use. So I go, hey, who's using the scissor lift? The guy goes, I'd let you use it, but the electricians are using it right now. I'm like, okay. Well, the scissor lifts, like the 26-footers, the basket will extend out on one side of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see them extended out like 4 foot, as big as it would go. And then I see like 6 guys grab this chandelier that was all braced up with 2x4s, and they're set it on the edge of that scissor lift, right? So I go, you sure that's a good idea? That chandelier, probably weighed 500 pounds. And, we do this all the time. I'm like, all right. I go, it just doesn't look too safe. And the guy looks at me and goes, what the fuck do you know? And I'm like, no problem, man. Okay. I'm just going to stand back and watch the show.
Yeah, what would you know about lifts, window cleaner?
Yeah, exactly. So about half hour goes, and I look over, and the thing is like 20 feet in the air, and they're trying to hook the chain and the cabling and, the wiring and everything. And all of a sudden I hear, get down, down, down. And I hear, oh, shit. I just turn around, and it cracked the floor, and then it went like this, and it didn't go over, but it threw the chandelier off.
Oh.
And it wasn't connected only by the wires. The chain wasn't hooked up, or the cables. Just the wires were, and that, wire nut or whatever. That thing pulled off. That thing hit the ground, went like a bomb.
Jesus.
And I'm like, I'm just standing there going, I'm the only one laughing. Like,
I got
fucking
stuck in a
dumbass.
lift, 45 foot in the air. It wouldn't come back down.
Oh yeah, I've been stuck in one before. That's
That
not
fucking
fun.
sucked.
Yeah.
At
Move
night,
lift?
at 45-foot scissor lift, a 4-wheel drive nifty lift, stuck all the way up in the air, almost as far as it would stretch in the
Yep.
dark. In the
Yep.
dark, I was like, "You got to be fucking shitting me, man!"
Dude,
I
I'll
actually,
tell you one-
some
yeah.
dude walking down the road saved me.
yeah, he was able to get it from ground power.
Huh?
He was able to get it from the ground control.
Oh yeah, once he got to the
Yeah.
ground, got to the emergency controls, he could release, you
Yeah.
know, the pressure on
Yeah.
and it just
Dude.
kind of sank down. You know what I mean? I was just like, man, dude, this is the worst thing that's ever
I
happened.
probably shouldn't tell you this one because I still clean this account, but we had a brand new Mercedes dealer come in, and it's a 4-story. The back of the parking garage is 4 stories, and there's a row of windows up there, right? So when we pulled into the parking lot, we were still working for the GC, not the Mercedes yet. And the GC says to me, "Hey man, you better plan on my lift is like that 45, but it's a 50-footer, and it's got the 4 outriggers. It's not a drivable
Right,
one.
right.
So I have 2x2 3/4-inch plywood that I put under the feet of it, you know. And the guy says to me, "I want more plywood under that because the asphalt is still fresh." So he goes, basically he told me, he says, "You fuck up this asphalt and you're paying for it." And I'm like, "No problem." We put the pads down. I had a row of like 6 windows to do. I'm all the way up at the top, and all of a sudden I hear this noise that I've never heard come out of the lift before. One of my guys is on the ground. He's like, "Shut it down, shut it down." I shut it down. Okay. Basically, it blew a hydraulic line on one of the main cylinders.
no.
Yes. Now, here's what happens with the nifty lift or any other.
Yeah.
There's what's called shaft locks, which the hydraulic line goes into this square box, which if in the event it blows the line, it doesn't hit the ground. It locks that cylinder in its upright position. So, do you know how to get it to the... So, as soon as you push the button and move the lever, it's spraying hydraulic oil out, right? Well, I got about halfway down, and it had gone through... One of my guys was there with a window cleaning bucket trying to catch the oil, right? And it ran out of hydraulic oil about halfway down.
Oh.
So now, and we're trying to fly under the radar with this issue, right?
Yeah. Right.
And I send one of the guys up to the auto parts store to buy a case of transmission fluid because automatic transmission fluid is very similar to...
Right.
And I'm like, we had to run through a case of transmission fluid just to get it to where I could climb out of the basket. Okay. Luckily, I had a pressure washer on site. We started rinsing that shit down the drains, right? Well, by the time we left there, the asphalt is sloped like this to drain this way. It was soft. It was very soft. And I was like, oh my God. And you could see the discoloration in it. And I'm like, that guy's going to come around the corner and I am going to own this parking lot.
Right.
But to this day, you can tell something leaked there, but nobody ever... No, it was another guy.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
That's just one where you cringe. You
Yeah.
just cringe
Oh,
every
yeah.
time. And there's nothing you can do. Nothing
No.
you can do.
I've been fucked like that a few times. Just not go the way you want it to, and you're just like, oh man, your heart's pounding in your chest. You just want to get the money and leave, and something fucked up.
You know,
happens.
the one thing I've learned, and Kevin, you just bought some new equipment, and you're very obviously familiar with all this equipment, but especially when it comes to lifts and hydraulic lines and issues and pressure washers and you know, when I bought my pressure washing trailer that I don't even have it anymore. I had to have hose reels and everything. And guess what? Hose reels are great when you're leaving. Okay. But when they start leaking because the swivel went bad or O-ring went bad, it's just a nightmare. That stuff is a nightmare. And I don't care how much you spend. It's always going down. I have learned if I go out to a job and I have a pressure washer there, I've got my lift there. If 3 things go wrong within the first hour, it's time to pack it up and go home.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'm
'Cause
going-
the rest of the day is screwed.
I'm going straight cold water and chemicals from here on out, man. I'm done with hot water machines. They're fucking garbage, dude.
Dude.
They're
I made
garbage,
the
man.
biggest mistake. Yeah,
They're garbage,
I had a
man.
Hydrotech hot water. My guys were burning. First thing I gotta have hot water, right? So I buy what do they call that? A hot box, right? It was propane fired. what happens the first thing? You had a barbecue grill igniter to light that bitch. How many barbecue grill igniters actually work? Okay,
two,
now I got guys
two
dropping
ever.
matches down the thing.
Yeah.
One guy burned his freaking eyebrows out. That's it. It's gone. Yeah, I don't know, man.
What do I prefer? Lifts, ladders, or neither? Whatever gets the job done. I have no preference. I mean, lifts are easier, of course. So, I mean,
yeah, if you can get the lift near the building.
Yeah.
Look, if Kevin and I go to bid a job and I show up and say, I'm going to bring my lift, here's a picture of it, it's not going to damage your ground, and Kevin goes, oh, I got a 60-foot ladder, I got a 40-foot ladder, they're going to hire me. That's just the case, because people associate ladders with accidents, and it's true. They do. We stay off ladders as much as possible.
What are your absolute least favorite, air quote, hyped tools that you've used? Mine's the window weapon. How about yours? From Reach It, biggest piece of shit ever. How about you, Mark? What's yours?
You know what? I'm kind of so traditional. When I find a squeegee that works great, that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy something else. I bought the Mormon, thing that it.
Yeah, that's a close tie. Window weapon and the liquidator. Fuck, those both suck so hard.
I just always go back to what I use all the time. And I don't even consider that wasted money. I figure, you know what, I'll give it to a customer or something, do a shower enclosure and give them a squeegee to take the water off. Yeah. Here you go. I'm kind of cautious nowadays. I don't like to spend money on stuff that I could tell right off the bat it's not for me. Look, you guys, I know TJ's proficient with the whole flip around,
Oh, the accelerator handle. The accelerator handle with the flick pad.
It's just not for me.
I do mad work
with it. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. So I stay with what I know. Not too much. Oh boy.
Whoa.
Not too much. I don't think too many tools in the last 5 years have come out.
Over here.
Smell like pork chops.
Yeah. I don't think too many tools have come out that I've looked at and said, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
Now I can tell you guys there's a few things coming out that I'm privy to that you're gonna have to have. But honestly, a different color squeegee handle, a different channel, it is what it is.
Yeah. And I just, I like the accelerator handle and the flick pad just because it's quick, convenience. Yep. That's, on a pole, it's quick. There's no transition. It makes my arm hurt less. You know what I mean? So
for me, it's been pretty much every Reach It product I ever bought.
Nice. I like that too. I like that answer. I feel like that's a good answer. Man, my microphone stinks, dude.
I bet it does. You're gonna have to sanitize that bit.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Daddy left chocolate chips on the microphone again.
Oh man. Wow, dude. Yeah. So Kevin, do you believe in Bigfoot? Have I asked you this question before?
No, you haven't. You haven't asked me that question.
Do you believe in Bigfoot or UFOs? Either or.
I think there's something out there that we don't know about, or that is beyond our intellectual capabilities to understand. I think with all the technology that's out there now, if there was a Bigfoot, we'd have seen some shit by now.
Oh man, you're just breaking my heart.
It's kind of like what Joe Rogan says about it, though. He's like, every show ever, we're gonna find Bigfoot.
Never find him.
And I think what it is the guys that really believe it. They believe it so passionately that you're just like, oh, come on, dude, really?
Yeah.
They just kind of ruin it,
I watched again last night because my wife went to a Pampered Chef party, so I watched the Bob Lazar Netflix show again.
Yeah.
This is like the second time I've watched it in 3 weeks. But I gotta say, dude, and listened to him on Joe Rogan and heard him. His story never changes.
How about the Element 115, bro?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Well, every time I listen to it, I think about something different. Now think about this: if he was just out spreading his story, which is 100% fake, let's say.
Yeah.
Why would the FBI raid his house?
Why ain't he making no T-shirts? I clean fucking windows and sell T-shirts. The fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
He ain't making T-shirts because your shit's still in the box in the back patio.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna
It'll
get
be
it
there
done
next
this
year,
week.
still trying to figure out how to put it together.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Well, Mike and his wife, they're kind of like on their first few days of their getaway. You know what I mean? And their motorhome, starting their new adventure. And I just don't want to bother them right now. I'm just trying to give them some time to, because they just took off. They're enjoying themselves. They just fucking sold me their business, which they did not want to do. They didn't want to do that. That's the last thing they wanted to do. And they gave me a hell of a deal on it. I just felt like, just give them a little time to, absorb the situation, have themselves a nice few days where they're out in the country enjoying themselves, and then be like, hey, man, you're going to have to tell me how to set this shit up because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
As far as the mechanics of it, like making the shirts, I feel like we'll be able to figure that out, no problem. The setting up the plotter and all that shit, doing shit the right way, that may take a little bit of time. You know what I mean? So I'll get it done. Plus, Jennifer's been diligently straightening up the back porch. She just finished painting and everything. So I'm not a painter. I hate that.
Oh, I hate painting. I hate anything.
I mean, she doesn't like to do it either. Jennifer doesn't like to do it either, but she'll do it because she knows I will not do it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll help her if she's like, "Hey, can you come roll this out, or I'll roll a wall out, or whatever," to try to help. But man, I fucking hate painting, man. I hate it, dude. But we just went and looked. Do either one of you have any experience or have a linoleum floating floor in their house? The glueless linoleum floor?
Yeah, well, I have the...
How are those? How are those? I mean, are those okay? I mean, I feel like it's going to be all wrinkly and shit, or am I just way off base?
I have in my house the Pergo style, okay? And I've had to redo my son's room.
No, I mean like a roll of aluminum, or of linoleum. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Kevin?
but you know what? I just did my camp. Mm-hmm. We had plywood floors. Mm-hmm. And my wife was like, these floors are nasty. Let's do something with it. So I bought vinyl that locks together. Okay. It's a floating floor. Mm-hmm. And they come in like 3-foot long squares. Mm-hmm. And then the edge is beveled. There's two different kinds. One interlocks, so you put them together and go like this, just like the Pergo. Yeah. And the other one you have to pull a glue strip out.
Uh-huh. And then just lay it on the next tab.
Okay. I bought the one that locks together because I was afraid, because that shit sticks. If you don't get it right, pulling it back apart. And I was in tight quarters because the bunk is only 10 by 12 feet, right? But I would recommend either one of those. They make some vinyl flooring now that looks exactly like wood, and you can get it wet. You can mop it. The dogs ain't gonna tear it up.
Well, this is like an old school linoleum floor, but it's a roll, in a roll. But it has it's a giant roll, and it's not real thin, and you don't have to glue it down. It just lays. On and my back patio is my back room is concrete slab, so I was just with the dogs and everything, I just think it would be so much easier to maintain and replace. That vinyl floating floor is legit. Put some in my in-laws' house. I don't like I said, I don't know if we're all talking about the same thing, but it's like, it looks like a fucking roll of carpet, but it's not. It's linoleum, and you don't have to glue it down.
I've never seen that.
I've never even heard of this shit. And then when we went to Menards, and for Jennifer to pick out a floor, she's like, well, let's do this, and it's like, dude, it's like $1.39 a square foot.
I would say this.
It's fucking super cheap. So I mean,
the whole thing with that is, this is my opinion. Mm-hmm. I pull the baseboards up if you got baseboards, so you can get underneath the baseboards. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you got to be really good with a tape measure. Mm-hmm. I would cut that shit like they do carpet. They cut carpet in your front yard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And get a couple buddies and measure the hell out of that room and cut it. Because cutting it to fit and rolling it out is going to be a mother. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I would do it just like I've done a glue down floor before. Yeah. So I would just roll it out like carpet. When you get to an obstacle, you bend it against the obstacle and you cut it as you're going. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I did the one in my cabin. Like I said, they were heavy-ass vinyl strips. Mm-hmm. Vinyl.
I've used that before. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's simple.
Stuff's nice. Yeah. Especially on plywood. That shit's going to stick really good. I'm just not too certain how well it's going to stick to concrete.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm on the fence about whether or not to
Well,
do.
it doesn't
I
matter
don't
if
know.
it sticks because it's going to be one piece, edge to edge. You know what I'm saying? I know as long it ain't going to lump up. You know, it's not going to have air under it. It's going to lay flat. It's heavy enough to lay flat.
Right.
I would say, you know.
Well, my cousin seems to think he's like, yeah, that's really good. Tell TJ we need to come visit him. Fuck that, dude. I'm not driving.
Dude, let me tell you something.
I'm not driving 12 hours just to see a dog. We got 4 at our house we can look at. And fuck
Tucker's
Mark.
badass, dude. Let me tell you something.
What?
Today, him and Brady have become really good friends. But Brady is now 5, so he's not that puppy anymore. Tucker has more energy than a normal puppy, right? And he he walked up to Brady and bit him right between the asshole and the tail. And Brady took off running and he was pissed.
Yeah.
Right? And then Tucker's so strong. I mean, he just fucking body blocks him and knocks the shit out of him. And Kate's like, we got to figure out how to stop him from doing this. I go, that dog is a Gilbert. Okay, you ain't gonna take that out of Gilbert. 'Cause that's exactly
Fuck
what
you,
he
dude.
would do.
Yeah.
He will bum rush you.
I will
if he's
bite
feeling
you
threatened.
on your taint.
I was gonna say, is that a dog taint? Is
Yeah,
that
I
what that
will
is?
bite
Like,
your
the
fucking
asshole and the
taint.
tail?
You mess with me,
Yeah.
I'm biting your taint, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. Dude, I don't know, man. My Uncle Mike gave us a shock collar for the dog. For Chucky to get her to quit barking and digging because I don't know what else to do now. And Jennifer puts it on him and it's just like a decoration. She takes it off. She puts it on. She takes it off. She puts it on. She takes it off. She doesn't. I don't think we have the heart to shock the dogs. My
Dude,
Uncle Mike.
I had a dog that would run, and we got a shock collar. And it had 2 settings. One, you hit it and it just and nail them quick. And the other one, it would do it and it would keep doing it until they would stop. And the dog took off running one day, and I'm like, stop, and call the dog's name and just kept going. So I hit the button and she kind of yelped and just kept going. Then I hit the second one.
Yep.
That dog jumped about 10 feet straight up in the air, turned around, tail between her legs, going right back.
Oh yeah.
That's my Uncle Mike had the collar on his puppy Caesar. And he's a huge ass chocolate lab, and he's just a puppy. His fucking feet are like this big around, Mark. They're humongous. If this dog grows into his feet, he's gonna be a big puppy. But he took off and he wasn't listening, and we're walking, like we're taking the kids to trick or treat. He popped that. He just hit him just real quick. Boom. That's all it took was one. He leapt up in the air and spun around at the same time and started. Well, I'm not shit. Yeah. And just turned around and walked the other like, whoa! I'm not supposed to do that. Yeah.
I buried that wire. I buried a wire all the way around the perimeter of my property when I had other dogs that were, and I didn't know enough about dogs to teach them how to stay in the yard. Anyway, I buried that wire on an 1.5 acre lot, and my dogs figured it out. They'd get near the fence. It would beep, 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 beep. It would let them know, right? And then if they stuck their head over that wire, it would light them up, okay? And they would jump like that. Well, they also figured out if they run past it, it stops shocking them, and then they didn't want to come back. So it kind of backfired in my face.
My wife's threatened to put a shock collar on me if I don't quit farting.
Yeah, I'm not a cat person either, man. I'm just not a cat dude. I'm just not. My grandpa used to feed cats antifreeze and tuna fish in the 80s. I'm like, why you do that, Papa? He's like, he goes, they'll eat this here at our house, then they'll go to their house and die.
Yeah.
Well, my dad always said, what a cat's got a tail for?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that, but then my sister got a cat one time, and that kind of grew on him for a minute. We got 2 cats. I like the cats just because I don't have any maintenance with them.
Yeah,
put
cats
food
are
out
easy. Cats are definitely easy, but they give you that fucking that crazy cat shit disease though. That disease that makes you fucking not able to make rational decisions, like your what the fuck does Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. I guess all of Brazil has it. according to
Really?
Joe. But yeah, but it's some kind of fungus that grows on the cat shit. It like takes away your ability to like a dangerous situation. You just have like a I don't. You'll have to listen to it.
Well, that explains a lot then.
Just, hey, Google Joe Rogan and cat shit disease, and it'll come up. You'll be able to. It's fucking
20
weird.
different podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if it interferes with making rational decisions, that explains a lot on my end. Then.
All right. Yeah. I'm not by any means. I'm not. I don't want anyone to think that we're here saying, "Hey, let's kill." It's not cool to kill cats. That's not what we're saying. I'm just saying that was the way my papa, someone that grew up in the Depression, old school, that grew up around a moonshine still. If you want to kill a cat, you put antifreeze in the tuna fish, and then they'll eat it at your house, and then they'll go to their house and die. I mean, if you think it's pretty genius, if you think about it, they're not gonna croak right away. Fuck, man. Cats are good to have if you got a barn, though. They get rid of mice. Mousers are cool, but like if there's a bunch of stray cats, like there's people around here that like to feed cats, and then they have a bunch of other cats, and then there's more cats, and there's cats, and cats piss on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 2 winters ago, cats were staying on the porch, and it was all cool in the gang, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, man, I don't want to be like my grandpa, because that's cruel. So I just let fucking Hazel out on the front porch one night, and that was the end. The cats don't come around anymore. After I let the dog out in the front yard a couple times, the cats don't come around anymore. Occasionally we'll get a raccoon or a cat or something on the porch getting the garbage, but other than that, it's not very often anymore that they're like out there sleeping. Them motherfuckers did have a house out on my front porch. You see my front porch got the chairs and the couches. They're like they would just squat there and chill on the furniture and shit.
They were squatters.
Yeah, squatters. I'm like, fuck that, I'm letting the dog out.
Yeah.
As soon as Hazel sees a fucking cat, that's it. She like, I'm like, when I tell Hazel to do something, she usually listens and does it unless there's a cat involved. If there's a cat involved, I don't exist. She's like, I'm getting that motherfucker. Hazel will jump up in the air and snatch birds out of the sky.
Yeah.
Like if a bird fucks up and gets too low, Hazel will jump up and grab it. She used to bring them and drop them on the front porch on the back porch for Jennifer. Like she would leave them right there in front of the door. Like, look what I got you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. It's our backyard's a no fly zone. If you do not eat here, you will be eaten. So, does anyone have any questions that you haven't asked already? Henry, I still haven't received the weapon you used in your last murdering spree. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I have a question for Kevin. Where do you see your company going over the next 5 to 10 years?
I'd like to get it to the point where I can either sell it, maybe have my daughter take it over, something where it's a substantial enough that it can be a good income source. Mm-hmm. And then for me, I'd like to do more of the education consulting stuff. And, I know that kind of gets cliched a little bit, but, I have a passion for teaching people and learning myself. So I'd like to be able to travel around and do more of that. I've done a fair amount of it. Uh-huh. That part of my business is training. So some of my customers, like the hospital, they have in-house staff.
That's what Mark's going to do when Mark's actually going to hire me. He's already told me he's building it into his cost, and I'm going to follow him around and just like fart into microphones and shit while he's teaching people. It's going to be awesome, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's cool.
That's what that's my ultimate goal. Again, it's about following your passions in life, and while I don't hate window cleaning by any means. I mean, it's not something that I'm dying to do every day, but when I get the chance to talk to people, the class that I did at the huge convention was probably just as enjoyable for me as it was for the people that were there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy that dialogue with people.
I skipped
and being able, sometimes you can just tell somebody one little thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
The whole spiel, just
it doesn't
one
have
thing
to be a
might.
huge business plan. It doesn't have to be this, somehow genius buy into this program thing. It's just something really, really simple, and it strikes a chord. So like for example, when we were at the convention, there was a family. So it was the father. I think there were 2 sons.
Mm-hmm.
And a daughter. And the daughter was, I'm going to guess, somewhere in her early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sons was just kind of getting into it, I think getting out of school. And the dad had come up and talked to me after the class and was telling me how he enjoyed it and was asking a few questions. So then we were walking around later, and it was just Celeste and I. We were just kind of tooling around, just looking at some stuff. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this young lady coming, kind of following us a little bit, but kind of trying to maybe head us off a little.
Uh-huh.
Well, she finally gets over there and stops us, and she's like, "I'm sorry, but I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoyed your class." And then she kind of got emotional because it wasn't, again, like I had some crazy thing that nobody has ever heard of. It was just how I put the fact that if you want to have a small family-owned business,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. Do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Do what makes you feel good. My parents' business was there to support the family so they could follow their passions in life.
Right.
And
I feel like,
if that's what you want, then do that. And don't listen to all these people that say, if you don't got 20 trucks on the road, you're not a real window cleaner. If you don't have a 1,000-foot ladder, you're not a real window cleaner. Just do what you feel good at and what makes you feel good. And so again, then we were getting ready to leave the following day, I think it was, and she came up and she gave Celeste a hug, and she actually was in tears. I mean, she was just like, I just really, enjoyed, hearing something from you guys and the convention as a whole, and it's just been such a good experience.
Yeah.
So now you have this family that's going to go back home, and you never know where they were at. Maybe the business wasn't quite where they wanted to be, or they just didn't have direction.
Mm-hmm.
And they go home, and now they're just energized, and they're just ready to go out and kill it. So that's where my passion is. That kind of stuff just fuels me.
There's not a lot of that out there, especially with people that talk about, how you should, or how to build a window cleaning company, or how to build a company in general. It's always, you got to have 55 trucks on the road. I'm going to teach you how to be a gajillionaire cleaning windows. I mean, it's just like...
the one thing I'll say, and Kevin, the fact that you get the satisfaction out of impacting their day-to-day life and business, that is enormous, that you get the satisfaction of teaching them. And I hold that too. But, TJ knows this. When we start talking about buildings, we start talking about 20 trucks and all this other shit. I can say this, between TJ and I, we keep it real, because there's guys out there that are floating a bunch of bullshit, and maybe they're not, maybe they are. They talk about 7 figures and all these different pictures of buildings and everything. None of that really means anything to me anymore. It doesn't. You're successful, good for you. Move on. But it's the successful guys. Good successful guys don't need to be on the internet broadcasting all of their pictures, all of their achievements. They need a pat on the back. What do you need a pat on the back for? Look what you've achieved, if that's for real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and if you're achieving that, you probably don't have time to be throwing stuff up all over. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so again, cool that's where I want to go is to be able to not go in. I've been in the cleaning industry for a long time, so I've seen a lot of consultants come through, and they've always got these big ideas, and they're going to tell you how to do. $3 million a year, $10 million a year. So again, at the convention, the stuff that they did with the Conquer, who's Brandon, was it Brandon Vaughn that did that? That he the first class of the day that one day.
Mm-hmm.
That's great stuff, but it's not for everybody. And my thought was 60 to 70% of the people that were there it meant nothing.
Yeah.
Because they don't have these grandiose ideas of having
most of us
an 8-figure business.
Yeah, most of us just want to make as much money as possible with the least amount of bullshit involved. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And when you're out there when you're out there to conquer all and run around in a fucking in a suit with Gucci loafers on, shit kind of gets out of focus.
There's nothing wrong with having that dream. We all start out thinking I'm going to be the big kid on the block. Here's a story that is going to fit right into this discussion right now. We have an upscale outdoor area where I live called City Place, right? Mm-hmm. And I had just started my company. This was about 19 years ago, and it's 10 miles from my house. Mm-hmm. And I go down there knowing it's a corporate stores. It's the Gap. It's stores that are harder to get for a guy like me because I don't already work for them in other malls. And I wasn't working for any of the third-party Nest or any of those guys, right? But I figure, there's 100 retail stores coming here. I'm going to go try to get my share. Mm. So I come pulling up in there and stack my pocket full of business cards, and start walking around just handing out cards, talking to people. And a guy who I have no respect for comes up to me. He had like 15 employees at the time, and he come from another county. And you know what he says? Walks right up to me and goes, "What are you doing here?" I go, "What am I doing here? I'm here for my fair share." Mm. And he says, "Well, we got most of this locked already. You're wasting your time." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And I just went back out handing cards out, whether it was a corporate account or not. Mm. And I landed 5 or 6 accounts, which I still have to this day. Mm. And that, to me, that was my share. I don't need to show up with a crew of 12 guys. I'm showing up with my bucket and my truck. Mm. Well,
making money.
Now, 3 weeks ago, that happens to be the place, that I restored that skylight.
Okay.
Once I restored that skylight, now I'm in with the management. Okay. Management calls me and says, because they're still doing road construction out there. They took the road out and they're putting brickwork in and all this nice stuff. They said, here's a map of the 100 retail stores, anything in yellow, right before the big unveiling and grand opening where they open the roads back up. We want you to clean every single storefront in and out and make them look great because the newspapers are going to be here, this and that. Just get us a price. It's a done deal. So I'm walking through there with the clipboard with the map, and I see the same guy. What are you doing here? I said, "I'm locking the entire street. That's what I'm doing." Like, what? I go, "You just watch what happens next month." And I walk away. Big asshole. Now, who's winning? You know what I'm saying? I just don't like arrogance. I don't like bullshit. I don't like, this is the kind of guy that goes, "Oh, most guys don't want to talk to me because I'm intimidating." No, you're not. No, you're not intimidating to me, dude. I could run with you. I don't care. I don't want that aggravation you have, and you have aggravation.
Yeah, I'm not a real big competitive type when it comes to cleaning glass. But if you're a dick, if you're an asshole to me and try to big dog me, I'll go out of my way to make you fucking regret it. I'll go out of my way to make you regret that shit. Yeah. You try to strong arm me like, "Oh, I'm Mr. Big Britches." There's this guy. I'm not going to mention his name here on the podcast, but he's from Toledo. He's kind of a twat. And he does a bunch of pressure washing. He was doing these Menards down here, and he was subbing the workout. And he's like, he was advertising that he's like, "Oh, I clean in Sandusky too," but he's from Toledo. And he was talking like, he's going to take this over, and this over. And I know he was saying it because he knew because I commented on the post. So he was, trying to be Mr. Big Britches. And he's subbing the work out to these dudes that are fucking terrible. They're not good. You know what I mean? And I told him straight up. I was like, if you're trying to be like an asshole to me right now, which I feel like that's what you're trying to do. I was like, just so you know, the guys that you're subbing those Menards out to are fucking awful. You know what I mean? They're not good window cleaners. They're leaving streaks and runs everywhere. They're not wiping anything. Like one window's like run a 3-foot run down a window over a fucking ledge onto another fucking window. And you're sitting here talking about you're going to come down here and take work from me.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Clown shoes.
Come on,
Yeah.
clown shoes, man. So you know what I did? I went and fucking bid some of his work, and I took it from him because I knew that who was doing the work, and I knew they didn't do a good job because I know he's not doing it, but he's Mr. Big Balls. You know what I mean? Advertising in Sandusky, it didn't work for him. Now he ain't doing none of those Menards. Because I know that the guy that's doing them. I turned it down. I didn't want them because I don't work for trade. Menard's always trying to trade your ass something. Like store credit.
Yeah.
You want some store credit?
Yeah.
No. I want money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll give you $150 store credit every cleaning. I'm like, I am not interested.
Yeah.
I'm just not
I
interested.
can't feed my family on store credit.
Yes. It would be different if I was rolling in the dough, but I'm not rolling in the dough.
See, now I might do that because I shop at Menards all the time.
Well, Menards is like literally a half mile from my house. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't go to Menards, but I don't work in trade. You know what the trade is to me? You trade, I give you clean windows, you trade me money for that shit. If I want to go to Lowe's, I'm going to fucking Lowe's. I'm not going to be beholden to Myers or Menards.
Very, very few of those deals last long term. Something always happens. I picked up a movie theater, right? First I had one movie theater, then they built a second theater. And these were, had 30-foot high windows in the front. And so I look at the second theater, and it was right. They never called me back. It was ready to open, and I finally walked back in, and they go, we know you do the other one. I go, yeah, here's the price. I mean, what's the problem? And he says, well, I'm going to be honest with you. We didn't budget for window cleaning, and we just didn't think about it. We figured maybe the janitorial staff would help out with it, but they already looked at it and said this is way over their head. And he goes, you want $350 to do 2 cleanings or 1 cleaning to the top a month and the doors every other week or something, whatever it was. And he goes, and I honestly just don't have it in the budget to give you. And I said, okay, well, I do the other one. You guys are a good customer. What's it going to take for me to get the job? What is your budget? And he says, how about this? I will give you $100 a month in movie passes. He's like, you take your family to movies? I'm like, yeah. My kids were much younger then. The kids go to the movies. He goes, I'll give you movie passes with every invoice take $100 off. And I go, okay, done deal. Going by for a year, no problem. I mail them the invoice. And the check comes with. They were giving me rain tickets. What do they call it? Rain checks. Whatever. We'd show up to the movies. So you can take your family to movies. It's $50 to walk through the door minimum anyway. Right? Well, the DM that made that deal with me moved out of state. So I send in the bill and only they're paying the money. So I go into the theater and I'm like, to the manager, I'm like, hey, man, this was our deal. And now, I tell him the story. And you know what he tells me? I don't appreciate you coming here shaking me down for tickets. And that fucking pissed me off. And I'm like, I go, let me show you something. And I pull out my wallet and I go, where would I get this if I'm a fucking liar? Right? This is a signed rain check by the DM. Well, he doesn't work here anymore. So if you want to keep cleaning our windows, you ain't getting no tickets and we're not giving you that $100 back. So what do? You've been cleaning the place 5 years. Okay. So I said, here's what we're going to do. Right now, the services are twice a month. We're backing it down to once a month. And that's all I can offer you. Beyond that, I'm trading dollars with you and I'm out. So we still do it once a month. And I don't get that $100 in ticket. Those kind of deals are short term.
Yeah,
they never
go
long. Big corporation. It was a lot different years ago when we used to trade stuff all the time, but it was with small companies.
Mom and pop. Yeah.
It was Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then the Hargises did the windows, and we traded stuff for that, or whatever. But with big corporations, like you said, things change hands almost every day.
Yeah,
and it's just
tough.
hard to keep that kind of stuff going.
Yeah.
Do you have any tricks to separating high modulus carbon fiber pole sections, Mark? He's tried everything: WD-40, soapy water, silicone spray. He can't get them apart.
Where are you reading that? Quick. Oh boy, if silicone spray doesn't get at it.
Yeah.
I bought those modular poles that stack into each other. Dude, I had two 250-pound men twisting and pulling, and they broke before they came apart.
Yeah.
There is no fixing that.
Yeah.
Once they literally fuse together.
You're fucked.
Yeah. I have, honestly, I when it happened to me, I had to drive home with that shit tied to my roof. It was like freaking 20 feet long. There was those old ABC modular poles that stacked into each other. Okay? And, dude, we had guys pulling and twisting, and they broke before they came apart. So I wish I could help you. I had no ideas.
Yeah. He said he put it in the bench vise and twisted them. He can't. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could throw a couple of pipe wrenches on there, but I guarantee you're gonna fucking snap those
you're just
fuckers.
Gonna destroy it. Yeah.
They're fucked. You're fucked on that, bro.
Yeah, I would say at this point, try to save one of the sections. Take a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel, and try to slice the outside pole, but not cut through the inside. It'll separate and then replace that one pole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's about your only bet, and you're gonna have to be good with the Dremel tool without going through both of them.
Taylor said she accidentally got two stuck together and you had to throw them out.
Yeah, I had to break the tip out of one of them because she jammed the strip washer handle onto it, and it was down in there so tight it didn't matter what I do. I had to end up taking it apart and cutting it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Hammering that thing?
Just buy a sim pole. You don't have to worry about that shit.
Yeah.
Or a zero pole. Zero poles are pretty nice too. Mark's getting ready to get one. It's already boxed up. I feel like I'm gonna put my shit, his brand new gold mini, his gold micro. I'm giving Mark a gold micro just as soon as I get the temperature gauge he's been talking about sending me for like
Dude,
4.5 months.
It's sitting on my table. I took you.
He's like, if I give you this shit, you better fucking do it. I've been waiting on the fucking temperature. He brought everything except for the temperature gauge. Everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, where's the temperature gauge at? He's like, oh, I forgot it. I'm like, how am I supposed to? Demanding that I get this done, and you don't give me all this shit.
Dude, I got it's all boxed up. I
don't even know what to buy.
You got 24 of those orange towels that I showed you.
Oh, okay.
Are in there. Two packs of towels because they're in shrink wrap, and the temperature gauge.
Cool.
Done deal.
Well, as soon as that box hits the door, I'll write you your address on this box and send it out, bro.
You got it. Yeah, you need to text me your address again. Seriously, because that's the only I have my address on it, not yours. I was gonna
so fucking garbage,
text
dude.
Me your address.
Hey, that fucking box will sit there it'll be there till Friday, because he don't like going. He don't like going to the post office either.
I hate the post office, man. I hate the post office.
TJ, what's the main difference between old zero clamps and new you installed? The gap. The gap on the. This is something. I don't know. I mean, it was just something that I noticed, and Luke noticed, and then we kind of brought it to their attention. But you see how the front of the clamp right here, where it clamps right there. Well, when you run out of adjustment and you go to clamp that.
Yep.
That's plastic on plastic touching each other. It's losing all of the force on the tube. Instead, the force is going on these two pieces of plastic and not the pole inside.
Yeah.
So what they did is they removed a bunch of material in the mold on the upper part of the clamp, so there's a gap right here.
Yep.
And that gap it squeezes better. They work really well. They work really well.
I don't have that problem with my gardener poles, just so you know.
I don't have that problem with my sim pole, so.
One of these days, I'm going to have to bring my gardeners over there, and we'll stand them all up and see what you think. That I swear by my gardener poles.
Anytime.
I'll be honest with you, Kevin. I had a Gardner Extreme 47 that had the clamp zones on it, and that was the biggest downfall for that pole. I hated the clamp zones.
When did you see? Now I think they've upgraded that.
Yeah, I don't think they have clamp zones anymore. The clamps were good. Mine. The pole was for 47 feet, and I had two extensions that go on the bottom, which, to me, I should say, 47 feet plus. It was like another 12 foot on the bottom was not usable. I just don't believe in that. Now, I see guys claiming 90 feet now. That's just not me. That's not me. But I just didn't like the clamp zones because it never locked on the length you needed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was like here or here, and that's not where I wanted to be.
I can pretty much lock them anywhere I need to now.
I like 32 feet of ultra high mod sim pole with 2 Excalibur EXTs on the bottom. That shit's straight as an arrow. I'll put that up against your gardener. Bring that shit down here.
All right.
Bring that shit down here. We'll see who's got the stiffer pole.
Yeah, that I'll tell you what. I listen, Evan. I'm going to tell you this because I don't own one, but I had that thing in my hands, and it's going to be tough to beat. That thing is rigid. That thing is tight.
The Kevlar
extra added weight.
No, maybe the Kevlar version, the Excalibur, yes, but the ultra high mod pole, nah, bro. I'm sorry. There ain't a pole out there it's just not happening, bro. I'm sorry, it just ain't.
I'd love to try it. I don't have it with me. Put one up in the air.
The ultra high mod, the Sim 22 with the added sections on it, like I've got the 7 and 8, and then I've got 2 Excalibur EXTs for it. I'm telling you, man, it's kind of crazy how fucking stiff that pole is. It's pretty bad. It's a badass, super light, super rigid pole, man. It's all about wall thickness with Philip, and Philip, he's got it dialed in, man. And not like that CWC guy. He's got poles that look like Phil's, but they're fucking garbage. They're all floppy and fucking bend up on themselves. Just watch any of Chris Doolin's videos where he's using those CWC poles. No buenos. Get the real thing.
Yeah, Cody Middleton got a Sim 22, and he says he absolutely loves it.
They're awesome. What's his name? Richie was like, I don't know, man. And then he got one. He's like, dude, this fucking thing's awesome. I was like, I told you, dude. They're legit, man. I was a little on the. I'll be honest with you, Kevin. I really didn't see the. I was like, well, it's a carbon fiber pole, whatever, you know what I mean? And then I got it, and I started using it, and I, instantly started messaging Mark, this is the best thing in the world, you got to sell all your shit, you got to get one, it's the best shit. Dude, it's nice, man. Philip can wear on you a little bit, but he's got a good product. I like the Excalibur, too, don't get me wrong, the Kevlar is pretty awesome, it's a little heavier, but the section length prevents you from having to use the whole pole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the way it comes apart, each section comes apart. So you only have to use as much of it as you need. You know what I'm saying? So if you need 8 sections or 10 sections of pole, you got to expect it to be a little heavy. You need it to be, quite frankly. To work at that height, you need a little bit of weight to the pole. Because if it's too light, like Mark said, it's at a certain height, it gets a little iffy with a water-fed pole. And if it's super fucking light, you're not going to have much agitation or pressure on the glass. So I feel like with the Excalibur especially, I feel like the added weight is actually not a detriment. It's actually good for you. Yeah. It's a benefit. The only issue I seen with Phil's pole starting out was his original extensions on the poles were too fucking big around, and then he switched to the 9 and 8 inside of each other. That's where it needs to be, because when I had all 12 sections, the end of that bitch is like this. You know what I mean?
Dude, it was like lifting a flagpole.
Yeah, it was fucking rough, dude.
That's the one thing I don't like. My hands will start hurting, when you got some of them poles, and like you said, man, they're really big. And you're just trying to.
It's really tough. If there was no audio on this podcast, this section of the show would be really awkward if there was no audio. You know what I mean? All three of us, all three of us are like,
and we're doing this.
Mark's doing nothing but like playing with his goatee the whole time.
I'm just sitting here thinking about
I like the way you guys do that.
I might get to see a wiener.
Those guys are so sexy.
So if you guys don't know, this is Kevin Hargis, and he is from the Into the Flow Facebook group on it's a window cleaning group, and it's they have a super positive message. They're all very, very helpful. They're all very good people, and if you don't know where that's at, go seek it out. You'll find some really nice people on there. If you want to see dick and fart jokes and people talk down to you, join the Squeegee Life podcast page, and we will make you feel like shit about your whole life and give you nothing but very, very constructive criticism.
I will say this:
constructive.
The Flow page and Squeegee Life are like oil and water.
Yeah,
we're
they're
exactly
like we're the opposite. We're the opposites of each other, but we all get
Depends on
along.
what mood you're in and what page you want to
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, the Squeegee Life page is more. The podcast page is more about just window cleaners being assholes. That's pretty much all it is. Sharing memes and shit like that. You'll occasionally get some window cleaning talk on there, but not very often. It's mostly veterans that really don't really want anyone to be telling them how to do shit. They just be like, "Hey, man, this is what I'm doing this week." That's usually what you'll get in there. Or into the flow, if you have a bunch of questions or anything like that, that's the spot to be at, man. It's very helpful, non-toxic environment. It's pretty cool, man, and I think you guys will like it.
And if those two pages don't work for you, and you really want to get bludgeoned, go post something
in pro window
put
cleaning.
a video up on pro window
and they will fucking eat you alive.
And watch what happens. Yes.
If you guys want
will
to,
lock the doors.
if any of you guys out there watching this could do us a favor, go to Podbean or iTunes and leave us a review on iTunes, especially on iTunes. It really will help the show out a lot. Or you can go to www.patreon.com/Squeegee Life and become a podcast sponsor. You know what I mean? Help us make the show possible. Now that I've finally figured out what was wrong with the program, and now I feel like I've got it fixed. We just need Mark to update his Skype, and then we'll be good to go. Don't forget, there's also the SqueegeeLife.com. I still haven't done the blog yet for this month on there, but I'll do it eventually. And then that's where we'll be selling Jennifer's homemade Squeegee Life shirts is on there. So that should be awesome, right? But
yes.
I would like to thank you, Kevin, for coming on. You're an awesome dude. We had chicken nuggets together. I feel like maybe sometime within the next month or so we're gonna get together before it gets way too terribly cold and have dinner or something. Jennifer and your wife. What is? Oh, I already forgot your wife's name. I was trying to memorize it before I came on here too. Son of a Celeste.
There you go.
Yes.
You got it.
I got it, Celeste. As soon as I said son of a bitch, it popped into my head. Celeste. So.
That's probably because she calls me a son of a bitch.
Right. But yeah,
I got one more question.
Go ahead, Mark.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
I'm kind of being observant here, listening to you guys. Kevin, that wouldn't happen to be a Chevy emblem sign in the background, is it?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I'm a bow tie boy.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, boy.
All right. Well, that'll save for another podcast.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the way I look at it. I've earned the right to give people shit about their Fords because my Chevy's got 369,000 miles on it. And she's still going.
Nice.
So
Good for you.
Every now and again, one of those happens.
What year is it?
Yeah.
What year is it? What
year is it?
Yeah, what year is it?
04.
04. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a
good car.
Great truck, man.
Cool.
I can't complain about it. It's just I'm looking at new ones now.
Can you imagine how many thousands?
Because I just never know when that last mile is going to hit.
300,000 miles. Just think about the amount of anal lube and dildos he's transported in 300,000 miles. Oh, I'm sorry.
A lot,
bro.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, I will say this: at that many miles, it doesn't owe you nothing. Just keep it going.
Right.
Actually,
Jennifer, my fucking Ranger started and took all that shit to the dump. Remember? Jennifer's dad's a Chevy guy, so she likes to, whatever, bro.
That's all right.
Yeah. So my Ford and Chevy story is my brother and I got a mechanic buddy, and he's a big Ford guy, and he was always giving us shit. Ford's better. So we were doing some stuff. We had to go over to his house, and he's up in the garage tearing the engine apart on his Ford truck. Mm-hmm. And we're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I had to rebuild the motor." And my brother's like, "How many miles you got on it?" And he's like, 100,000. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Well, Kevin's truck's got at the time it was like 320,000 or something." He's like, "You guys got like 320 on that Chevy." I'm just saying.
Right. Jennifer's fucking dad. Jennifer's dad. Every time I see Jennifer's dad, that's the first thing that comes out of his mouth. Every time. It never fails. It's I'm used to it. I get beat down about it all the time. There's a lot for a long.
I love my truck, but my first truck ever was a 79. You'll love that, TJ. 79 Ford F100.
All right.
Half ton.
All right.
And
That's my
I
shit.
think I sent Mark a picture, or might have sent both to you guys. It's I think it was a '78 F-250.
Okay,
Man,
yeah.
That body style.
I love
Yep,
them.
that's
yeah.
my
I'd
favorite.
give
Yeah.
my right nut for one of those.
Yep. I
right
love
now.
the
I mean,
79s are my favorite. I love the 79s. Not only is it the year I was
73 to
born.
79.
Yeah, not it's the year I was born, but I just like the 79s. My grandpa Walton had one. I loved that fucking truck. It was so dope, dude. Sky blue. It was super dope, man. It was a super
I
cab
had
too.
that 300 inline 6 and that Ford
Can't
F-150.
kill that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that fucker's
Couldn't- yeah.
bulletproof.
I mean, you couldn't go
Yeah.
anywhere fast, but
No.
I swear to God, you'd pull a house off foundation with that
Yeah.
thing. It just
Yeah.
went and went and went and went. And
Right.
And
you know,
easiest
the
to
body
work
color.
on, man. You could raise the hood and stand up inside there and work on that thing.
Dude, I took the heads off of that, and I
Yeah.
did it. It was pouring down rain. I put a tarp over it, raised the hood, put a tarp over it, and I crawled up in the engine bay and sat
Yeah.
on the wheel well and
Yeah.
took the heads off.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
head weighed like 125 pounds on that thing.
Oh God.
Like this long, yeah.
Oh yeah, they were huge. Oh, it was a nightmare to get it out of there once I got
Yeah.
it apart. But
Yeah.
Dodge
Yeah.
Gen. It was a Dodge Gen. The one that was full of rocks and fucking rolled down the hill. At State Park in Mohican, I had to have the fucking truck towed out. I had to have a tow truck company come winch my truck out. It rolled down it rolled into the embankment backwards. Jennifer went to jump out of the truck on me. Fucking, that was fucking crazy. I'll have to tell that
Nice.
story soon. But I just want to say thanks, guys, thanks Kevin for coming on.
thanks for having me.
It was awesome having you on. You're more than welcome back anytime you want. And we will see you guys. I don't know. We'll see you either Sunday or something. I don't know. We'll see you guys
Sunday
soon.
or Monday.
Sunday or
whatever
Monday.
you
We'll
guys
see you
want.
guys.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that shit out.
Peace. Be safe.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Yeah.